Hello, hello, dear friends. Welcome to the P2000 classes. I am Noemi Paimal from Education 3000, and today we will see something called PSL, NSL, frontal lobe, and lateral thinking. Let's see what it is about. It's a fabulous subject if you want to know how the brain works for long-term memory and for fun learning and for motivation and to change literally completely education. PSL stands for Positive Stimulation Circuit for Learning, and the opposite, what we don't want, NSL, Negative Stimulation Circuit for Learning. And it's linked to the frontal lobe, as well called fourth brain, the fourth brain number 4, and lateral thinking. So let's start. The whole story is like that. It's about the process from the information to the back of the brain all the way up to the front lobe. And it works like that. If the information is multisensorial, motivating, which is awakens the desire for an achievement and it's creative. So the brain will perceive that the situation is of low stress and no risk. So the amygdala is the amygdala behind. I'm not talking about the one of the throat, the tonsils. And the reticular activity system, which is called RAS, is not around, which is the back of the brain, the reptilian part. Then the positive stimulation circuit is opening up to the frontal lobe. The neurotransmitter acetylcholine stimulates the attentional focus of the front lobe. And this is what we like with the story. The neurotransmitter is called dopamine, is released, and this is a pleasant experience, and it's self-rewarding. It allows a long-term memory, altruism, and creativity. So I made, it's easier sometimes to see a drawing. This is a drawing of the positive stimulation circuit for learning, PSL. So this is our brain. And here, on the left corner, down at the bottom, we have the information. If the information is novelty, something new, something the students are so curious about it, or something they do want, or they choose to learn, or it's a project they choose to do, or it's a find solution-based project, they find a solution to a real problem and they choose it, and they are very into it, then we have a great motivation and the sense of novelty and the sense of I'm a protagonist of my education, and a sense of achievement as well. There is creativity, and it's a multi-sensory information, meaning we see a movie, we research, we do, we manipulate things, we can not hear and see, but smell and taste sometimes. It works, and we are talking about inner and outer senses. That will be the ways information should be provided or self-provide. Then it will go where? To the back of the brain. So we are here, number 2, on the right side bottom. So it will go to the back. To the back we have the reptilian brain, amygdala, and the reticular system activation, which is all the back part. And this part of the brain is in charge of survival. So it will decide if the information is interesting or it's not interesting, or if there is a risk, or if there is some stress. If it is with no motivation and creativity, of course it will say, oh, there is no stress. There is no other priority than to learn right now. We don't have to flee or go away, or we don't have to be stressed out. So it's green. It will do the green. It will lit up the green light. It will say, no stress, no risk, go. Understand? So this is wonderful. So the information will go through the brain, will do all the circuit, and that's what it's called, circuit of positive stimulation. And it will go towards the frontal lobe. And there is a neurotransmitter in charge of that, and it's called acetylcholine or choline. This acetylcholine, well, in Spanish is acetylcholine, is wonderful. It's the one who gives everything, will bring everything up to the front brain, where we have the execution, we have the way of doing the project, we have the way to go to action. It's great, it's beautiful brain. And actually, I have some friends that are chemists, actually, biochemists, and they suggest that for young people, they say they use a large quantity of acetylcholine or choline, and they use more than us, for instance, and they would need this as a supplement. That's if you find this acetylcholine as a supplement and a vitamins, or the complex of vitamins, and they have those complex with everything. It can be good because they use a large quantity, especially the one a lot with the computer or doing a lot of creative activities. That's something she said she noticed much better focus with those kids. Anyway, it will go where? To the front lobe. And it will release this wonderful neurotransmitter called dopamine. And I love this neurotransmitter because it's a neurotransmitter of, it's pleasant, it's satisfaction. Oh, we have a goal, we did it. And you have more dopamine if, actually I will do another video on that. If it's done in a teamwork release more dopamine even. It's pleasant, it's deep learning, and it's self-rewarding. And when I say self-rewarding, bingo, then there is no necessity of a fake motivation, or to be the first one, or to learn for the exam, or to have a candy, or to have a reward, an artificial reward. The self-rewarding is pure dignity, is consciousness, is when the human being realizes something and knows something, and it's pure, like, wow, emotion, consciousness, wisdom. It's like it makes you grow at all levels. And that's the beauty of the real education. See, it has to do with consciousness. And it works by itself. You got the satisfaction. You get this, oh my God, I found it. This is amazing. Look, I found this and I made this project and it's working. Wow. This is exactly what we want. So this is called the positive stimulation circuit for learning. Now, the opposite. Exactly what we don't have to do. Again, the information down here, bottom left. The information, let's say it's boring, it's not multisensory, it's monosensory, that's talking, blah, 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 and then take your book, page 66, and then blah, 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 and then no, 2 plus, I don't know, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you know them. Yeah, that's it. It's not multisensory. You understand? Yeah, no motivation, no excitement, and a lot of repetition, and we see the same and the same over and over. So when this kind of, let's say, boring information or monotonous information arrive, first, remember where? Here, in the back of the brain. This is amygdala and the activation of the reticular system. It's called SAR. And it's activated. And it say, boring, danger, stress. And they will lit up a red light. I will say, no. This situation is not correct. There is some stress, and they start to really stress, actually, and then physically to contract the calves, because that's the muscle to go away, to flee, the shoulders, the back, the neck, even the jaw. And then it's blocked. And the information can go further. This part of the brain is saying no way. Then it's very sad, because then the positive circuit is not activated. So to go to the front lobe, the circuit to go to the front lobe is inhibited. And instead of having the wonderful acetylcholine or choline, I don't know how to say it, transmitter, we have the worst one. We have adrenaline and noradrenaline. That is a stress neurotransmitters. It's released and it cuts the circuit. And then no dopamine, no self-reward, no intrinsic satisfaction. Bro, everything is falling down. So you have to again motivate with a fake motivation. Oh, be the first one of the class, have the exam, have a reward, or be punished. And this is exactly what we don't want. And this is called the negative stimulation circuit for learning. So it would go like that. This is a summary. So a negative stimulation for learning circuit, that's what we used to do before the old education. The children have to be still, remember? And this is not pedagogical. It doesn't help with the positive stimulation circuit. And it doesn't help with the process, with long-term memory, the process of learning, a complete, holistic process of learning. The information is irrelevant for them, let's say. It is repetitive. We look for a short-term memory, just remember as quick as we can, just spit it for the exam, and that's all. Then the learning process has no intrinsic reward, no self-reward. It's not pleasant, so you don't want to do it again. You don't want to go on with the learning process. You want to create. No joy, no fun, it's not ludic, and it's monosensorial, meaning one sense. Usually it's blah, 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 blah. Sometimes two, but it's very, very poor. So the opposite, what we need is a lot of movement. And I will do another video on that. It's confirmed by science. Movement is really helping with the learning process. Movement and doing and building and do and move. Personal interest, you have the highest motivation. Novelty, something new. The sense of achievement. We do a project, we finish something, we have a find solution-based learning project, and all together we find solution and we do something useful. This is wonderful. We have the intrinsic reward, the self-reward. We have the sense of humor, it's pleasant, it's playful, and it's multisensory. So that's exactly what we are up to. I recommend 2 books. It's in English. You can find it on the website Educatiooon, Educatiooon with 3 O, 3000.info. One is the Children of Today and Tomorrow, and that's a scientific approach on all the characteristics of the children and what kind of education they do need. And the other book is called The Education of the Future Now, and it's as well in the same website, education3000.info. So it will be great because it will give more information about this amazing subject and how to build up this new education we need so much. Why the frontal lobe? Why the information is going up to this part of the brain? It's about the front lobe, and the prefrontal lobes is the front part here, my forehead, that's the part of the brain, and it's called the fourth brain by many people, meaning like it's the newest, the latest part of the brain activated. And it seems that many children and young people, they have it, even though they say this part of the brain is activated past 20 years old. I don't see that with the children of today, at least in our research and with young people. On the contrary, and it works like that. Let's say this is tomography. You can see this brain here, the front lobe. This is the front part. I'm on the left. It's not activated, and there is a poor part of the brain activated just for do the task. And we are talking about the task when there is no motivation. It's called discrete activation of the brain in a task with little motivation. So there is no big activity here, and the front brain is not activated. On the contrary, this is the right, and look, the energy around is much bigger. There is more activation. The front lobe is activated, and a good part of the brain is activated to complete with the task. And this is activation of the brain and the front lobe with sometimes the same tasks, actually. but with a very high motivation. And this comes from you, not a fake motivation. And this is extraordinary because this is what we want. We want the activation of the part of the brain. The front brain is about execution. It's when you have an idea, but you can do it. You can accomplish with your idea. It's like, it's very linked to your vocation. Sometimes it's called mission as well. It's very humanitarian. It's not afraid to do. It's a brain that can really do the project, see the tactics to get what you want and do it. And it's very empathic as well. And we'll see why a little bit with the next slide. How we activate this part is very simple. A lot of motivation, laughter. It's proved scientifically that when you laughing, you really activate the front lobe. And this was done with many research in the States, and they figure out like people with great sense of humor, they have this part activated, the front lobe. And to do humanitarian service. When you help others and you do something with altruism, do something for free, or you help, or you do some kind of service, this part is activated too. So that gives us some hints for the new education, laughter project, and humanitarian service. And they say this part of the brain, the frontal lobe, is where we have more mirror neurons. And mirror neurons are the neurons of empathy. And that's why this brain as well is very empathic and likes to help others. It's linked with the mirror neurons. And finally, lateral thinking, the ability to find many solutions, A, B, C, D, and exactly what we want. Not only critical thinking, because we criticize and we see it's not right, and so what. What we want and we look for is an find solution. We want any solution, and we figure out all the consequences of the project, of an idea. We see the multifaceted word, multifaceted solution. And this is wonderful. And this is something that the kids and the children, they already have this wired. I mean, they already have this lateral thinking. And what we want with education, we do hope that they will thrive and use more this lateral thinking, and let them do, and they have all this creativity as well. So lateral thinking starts with Edouard de Bono. It's a long time ago, 1933, Malta. He coined the term in his book, The Use of Lateral Thinking. 67, lateral thinking in 70, and then he developed the concept of 6 thinking hats, 85. It's quite a long time ago, but it's still very accurate and very, very good and very necessary in the education system. And what he was offering with the 6 thinking hat and with the whole idea of the lateral thinking is facilitates the resolution and analysis of problems for different perspectives. And this is exactly what we need now. With one solution or a narrow path, that's not enough. It's even dangerous. So I'm very glad we have this lateral thinking inside the education now. Why boys and girls, why do they need the positive stimulation circuit for learning? Because the whole circuit we just studied right now and the lateral thinking is exactly what corresponds to their way of learning. Remember, we saw the way they learn? I think it was the video number 2. The metabolism, their metabolism is much faster. They have hyper, means all the senses are more developed. The brain has a tendency to be a synesthetic brain. They capture everything at the same time, and it's fast at the same time, and it's a fast brain. The neurology is different. The right hemisphere is activated and actively very connect with the left hemisphere. They have the tendency to be in alpha waves and above, which is theta and delta waves naturally. The fourth brain, this part is more activated, according to some pediatrician. Lateral thinking is developed in them. Multiple intelligence, remember we saw 33. Emotional intelligence, very developed, so that's for sure. And in general, self-development and strong personality, and high motivation if they decide what they want to do. There's something as well about the kids. It's called supraselective attention, not to mix with deficit of attention disorder, of deficit of attention disorder, attention deficit disorder, ADD. I got it. It's not ADD, it's SSA, supraselective attention. They can capture several things at the same time in a very, it's a very high capacity, but it's selective when they like it. If they don't like it, they won't do it. I put this picture of Lydian Nadaswaran, is from India. And it's very interesting because he can play 2 piano at the same time. And this kid is amazing. He won the world prize in last year, 99. And he can play the 2 piano at the same time in an amazing way. And it means his brain is completely connected. Right brain, left brain. His multi-attention is at its high peak. And is probably the alpha waves and above. I mean, it's a real amazing. You can see in the internet the videos of him. Lydian Nadaswaram. Well, how do they learn? What we can already put in our basket of tools, pedagogical tools. Multiple way, multiple approach, multiple intelligences, multiple task, multiple attention, emotional, to take care of the emotional issues, a lot of motivation, let them decide what they want to do and let them do their great project, and you will be surprised. We are so surprised. A lot of movement, for sure, a lot of activities with the body, physical activities and project, and physical sport, at least one a day, with a liter. Technology, of course, doing, to do, traveling, nature, art, exploring. And much love. Thank you so much. That's all for today. And let's do it. Let's go on with our research, with our, not only ideas, is to be in the field, to do it every day, with oneself, with our children, with our students, and to co-create a wonderful education for us, for the kids, for those to come, and for the new society. Thank you. Take care.